So I put it off for long enough. We're back on my Mando. We got it done so far. We got a blaster. Needs to be painted, but it's fine. Jetpack's done. Helmet's done. Backplate's done. Haven't weathered everything yet because I'm not quite sure how heavy I want to make the weather. So for the rest of the pieces, I think we're just going to finish it at Beskar and do one big painting video. But there's a lot of stuff going on here. These are the boots I'm going to use. And then the boot covers. Shin pieces are going to be up like that. That's going to look fantastic. I've got hip plates. They're pretty neat. They're going to have straps over them and then a holster hanging. Let's go this one's a little cleaner. My shoulder pieces, they're going to look amazing. I'm super excited about that. That's coming up. The gauntlets, I picked out a pair of burgundy gloves. These are ladies' gloves. But I think, I mean, they go with the costume really well. The color scheme matches pretty good. Which is kind of what I wanted. But next, the first thing we're going to work on now, the chest plate. I've got the back plate already done. We're going to do the chest plate. Move some things around for a second. Then we'll adjust. The back plate curves around my neck. Which, interesting, I've never seen a Mando do that. And then the front plate kind of curves back, so it's going to have this kind of like a reveal right there that I think is just going to, it's going to look spectacular. Let me grab some clamps and see if we can set this up. Kind of mock it in place for a minute. So it's kind of what we're going for. I think this looks amazing. And then we put the shoulder bell on and the arm plate. I think it's going to have a really neat look. But to get to this point, we're sanding these next. And the rest of this build is going to be relatively easy up until the sewing part. Because I need a flag vest that all of this attaches to. And then we're going to need a flight suit underneath. And then there's just an absolute metric ton of leather that needs to be worked. Luckily, I've got plenty of leather. Got plenty of time. And since everything has been printed, at this point, it's just sanding, smoothing, Bondo, and paint. And like I said, with paint, we're just going with the silver, this silver that I'm doing. Because this is kind of my Beskar look that I'm going for. So yeah, since everything's printed, all I have to do is sand. Next part, acetone, glazing putty, and mix it. Decent amount of acetone, little glazing putty. Little goes a long way. Just going to coat everything until it's nice and smooth. Could take a little while. We're going to be wearing a respirator, so we'll do a time lapse. We'll put you so you can see a little better, and we'll time lapse the whole thing. Turned out pretty good. I'm happy with that. light sanding, and then we're going to do the same thing again, except this time we're going to use less acetone and more glazing putty, so it's a slightly thicker to coat everything evenly. They've been sanded to 320 and they are spectacular. I'm done with the acetone. Now I want to hit all of these edges with just simple glazing, just glazing putty. Super thin coat, just so I know all of the extra ridges are completely gone. That's where they're going to be the most noticeable. Light coat across the entire, well, not the entire thing, because we're not touching the top. We're just doing this edge. Let me play around so you can watch. Trying to use as little as possible. I'm just going over this edge. Just like that. Now I'll just fill in the very last bits of layer lines that I happen to have. Because the rest of it, I mean, look at that. That looks spectacular. At least it will once it's primed. And the same thing to this one. You don't need to watch it. It's the same as that. We'll pick back up in a minute. Everything's been sanded. To 320. I'm super happy with how these look. I mean, I think they're going to look great on the costume. We are currently up to priming, which is what's happened next. We'll get to see exactly where we're at as soon as we prime everything. We're going to do that in the morning. They came out very nice. I'm super happy with it. The backside. But this, not a layer line in sight. Got a little, maybe right there. That's where the print shifted and I had to redo it. So we're on to paint. My paint, I think, froze over the winter. And it's acting weird, so I may have to go get new, but this is what I'm using so far. It's the base Beskar that I wanted to use. I don't want to use a bright silver. I wanted that to be just hints of highlights here and there. And this is the base color for that. This turned out better than it had any right to. Pull you in so you can see for a couple seconds. I love how this looks. This whole thing is turning out unbelievably spectacular. The backpack, the helmet, the chest plate. This is better than I could have hoped for. The next project should be the flak vest that all of this attaches to. I've absolutely burnt out my sewing machine. And I cannot use the leather one as a sewing machine. It only does straight stitches. I need zigzag stitches. So we're probably going to go to do pauldrons next. This is a relatively short video. Nothing went wrong. Everything went to plan. Hopefully next week, same thing happens with the pauldrons. No real issues. We can hope, right? If you're interested in seeing how all of this comes together, maybe think about liking and subscribing, watch a couple new videos, leave a comment or two, share, maybe a like. Heck, you might even want to subscribe. So yeah, that's about it. Hope to see you next week.